Most people avoid emergency preparedness for one simple reason. They don't want to look paranoid. And honestly, I get it. And when people hear the word preparedness, they think bunkers and tactical gear and people yelling about the end of the world. That's not what this is. Preparedness doesn't mean paranoid. It means you dislike unnecessary inconveniences. So let's reframe emergency preparedness. Because here's the thing that nobody says out loud. Most emergencies aren't dramatic. They're boring, disruptive, and I'll admit, very, very annoying. Things like power outages, water main breaks, weather delays, car trouble, medical emergencies that don't make the news, and even job loss. Preparedness isn't about the apocalypse. It's about making bad days less frictional. If your life completely falls apart the minute that something goes wrong, that's not normal. That's actually fragile. And preparedness is about being resilient every single day. So why does the prepper thinking actually fail for normal people? They think of it as an identity versus a skill. But reality is, you don't need a new personality. You don't need a different identity. You don't need a bunker. You don't need a tactical vest. You don't need to predict the future or a tinfoil hat. You just need to reduce friction when things don't go as planned. That's it. So let's start with some action items. And let's start with the most important but least exciting thing ever, water. You don't need special containers and you don't need to buy anything today. Look around, see if you've got any jugs, water bottles, or what have you, and be able to fill them up. Take 2 seconds, fill them up, and be done. Then occasionally rotate them out because water does go stale, and depending upon what's in the water, it can actually harm you in the long run. The reality is, when the water stops running, the first people to panic are the ones that thought it would always be there. This actually takes you one step past that to say, hey, it happened, not a big deal, but you need to start thinking about things like bath or just simply drinking, because storing water doesn't make you a survivalist. It's just foresight. Action item number 2. Preparedness fails because many people think it's a weekend project. That's not true. And don't do that. Set a timer for 15 minutes. Once a week, go and do a task. 1 week, check your water storage. Next week, batteries. 3rd week, maybe check your medical supplies. 4th week, make sure all your documents are in order. Do you need to update them based off of something changing? When the 15-minute timer runs out, be done. Because preparedness isn't built on bursts of motivation. It's built on small, repetitive, boring tasks. And it's not something that's built in one afternoon. Action item number 3 is all about mitigating the inconvenience. This is the mindset shift that starts changing everything. Stop asking, what if everything collapses? And start asking is, what inconvenience do I want to mitigate today? Power goes out, what do I want to do? If it's out for an hour, maybe not a big deal. Sit there in the dark. Hopefully your phones are charged. But 2 days, 3 days, what will you do over those periods of time? And a lot of you with a power outage, that leads to water outages because of the pump that's actually running. But then you also have to ask yourself, what about light? What about warmth? This is also where the water questions come in about drinking, cooking, bathing, toilet. What are you going to do if the water goes out? Or heaven forbid, it be like Atlanta one time where they had a problem and you could not use the water for a specific period of time, despite the fact it was still coming through the faucet. What if you're stuck somewhere longer than you planned? I have flown many miles, many hours, and I cannot tell you how long I've been stuck in an airport unexpectedly. Inconvenient, very much so. But I made sure that I had food. I made sure that I had my snacks. I made sure that I had water. I made sure that I communicated with the people that were expecting me on the other end, because those are the things that have to be done, even though it's a mild inconvenience. I didn't like sitting in the airport, but it's one of those things that happen. Another one to think about is car troubles. What if your car breaks down when there's no communication, limited traffic, something of that nature? And here in Montana, that's an easy day for that to happen. It's happened many times for many of people that I know. What are you going to do? Do you have snacks? Do you have entertainment? Which way are you going to go? In what direction? Do you know where your exits are? Things like that. Most emergencies are inconveniences multiplied by stress. So your job is to mitigate both of them. Reduce the stress and the inconvenience. So again, preparedness isn't fear-based. It's responsibility-based. You're making decisions based off of things that may happen. And it's the adult version of making sure your phone's charged, making sure you've got gas in your vehicle, making sure you've got food if you were to go somewhere and there could possibly be none, or carrying a spare tire. Preparedness doesn't mean paranoid. It means you're preparing for reality as opposed to pretending it's not going to happen. If this made preparedness feel normal again, good. That's the point. So start small, stay boring, and stop letting the stigma keep you fragile. Until then, use your instincts to survive.